Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and jelly babies. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XII. You are here with Morris. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're okay out there. Are you okay? Is everything okay? Is everything good? Are you good? I hope so. If not, don't worry about it. You never know what's around the corner. Unless you're me and you're playing Final Fantasy XII, in which case you know exactly what's around the corner, which is fantastic because I'm the one playing. So yeah, in the last episode, we made our way through the Barheim passage. Barheim? I think that's right. I think that's the right pronunciation. Made our way through the Barheim passage. Made our way back to Rabanasta. And Bosch left us to go join his people. Or go find his people. And hopefully join them. Balthier and Fran also left us. Probably to get an ice-cold beverage of some description. So Vaughn is left to his own devices. And there's a fair few things we need to get done with him before we go anywhere else.
Vaughn, is it really you? I heard you got took off to Nalbina.
The Imperials will need more than a dungeon to stop me.
You broke out of a dungeon? Whoa!
Hey, try and keep it down, would you? Penelo isn't around, is she? Out on a delivery, maybe?
Nope, haven't seen her all day. Not like her to up and skip out on work like that. Miguelo's not here either. He went running off somewhere a little while ago.
So much for my big welcome. I guess everybody's busy.
I got my hands full watching the shop, and old Dallin had something for me to do, but I can't get away.
Old Dallin, huh? Tell you what, I'll go see him for you.
Really?
Well, nothing better to do.
That's true enough. Alright, first things first. We got a lot of loot from that dungeon. Nothing of any massive value, but get rid. No use carrying all this stuff around. In fact, Vaughn, I'm very impressed that you can carry any of this stuff around. Does he have any pockets on that outfit? Because it doesn't look like it. Precious, precious money. Which we don't really need to buy anything at the moment. I mean, this would... normally, obviously, when you go back to a town in an RPG, it's like, yeah, upgrade all your equipment. But there's no real pressure to do that just yet. Because everybody's kind of... everybody's working well together, you know? Everybody's doing alright. Balthier got a better gun. You know, Bosch is about to come back and he's going to have better equipment, so... I don't know, there's not really a pressing need to do that. In terms of, you know, weapons, I mean... magic is a different story. And, you know, now we have the ability to buy gambits. Because we now have, obviously, the gambits menu. We're all clued up on that, so we can actually go and buy them. So those things are a little bit more important than just upgrading equipment. Because like I said, you can find a lot of good stuff just out in the world now. As we go on our journey, so that's good. Anyway, seems we're just going to see old Alan. Let's speed things up just a little bit. Double, actually. But that's fine. Oh, I wish all games had this feature. It's so useful. Hey, Dallin. Guess who's back? Back again.
Well, look who we have here. Heard you were sent off to Nalbina.
And I got out of there as fast as I could. But it was all worth it, Dallin. Here, look at this.
My. Quite a treasure you've got there.
Well, you know, I couldn't have done it without your help.
So, there is more to this gutter churl than first meets the eye. Vaughn, I've an errand, a simple favor to beg of you. I was going to ask that kites to go, but I should think that you ought to do. No, I think you're just the one. There's a fellow by the name of Azalas, and I need you to bring this sword to him.
That's a sword of the old order.
Speak my name when you arrive. That should be enough to get you in to see him. I've made a note on your map showing you where he can be found. Mind you, you are to deliver the sword to him personally.
I will. Hey, Dallin, do you think I could get you to do something for me? I need you to find out where Penelo is. I wanted to show her what I got from the palace, but I haven't been able to find her anywhere. Can you let me know if you hear anything?
You can just leave that to me.
Thanks, Dallin.
And so it is done. But will it be enough to remind him of what the Order once meant?
You obtain a sword of the Order. I like how I'm still in the room when he says that. Vaughn's like, Dallin, what was that? You still talking to me, or are you muttering to yourself? Alright, a sword of the Old Order. So, what can we do with this? Well, do what Dallin says, and hopefully reassemble our party. Because you know what, Vaughn? I think I've justified Vaughn's existence, which is more than a lot of people would do for him. But he still needs a little bit of backup, so that's the first thing we're gonna do is get all our party members back. I mean, everybody needs their alone time, but I think, safety in numbers, right? I'm supposed to deliver something to a man named Azalis. This is the place, right? And who was it told you that? Old Dallin, he said I have to give this to him personally. This guy's name is Ballsack. Does nothing get past that, Dallin? He has ears in every wall. Alright, get inside, but not a word of what you see or hear in there. And don't tell anyone my name, because it's really embarrassing.
Then what do you make of Andor's proclamation? Are you suggesting they fooled even the Marquis?
What if a judge killed the king, not the captain? That would explain everything, wouldn't it?
In that case, the captain would be brother to a judge. How are we to trust such a man?
Now there is the Bosch that I remember.
Then will you fight again at my side? His word alone convinces me of nothing.
I'd take his word over that of a mouthpiece Marquis.
Then you name Rex liar with him.
My brother was no liar!
Just the opposite. Rex was the witness they needed. They had to make it appear as if I killed the king. Rex bears no blame. The fates have willed it.
So this is Rex's brother. Your words may convince a child such as this, but they weigh far too lightly on the scales for my taste. Our past will remain separate.
Do you not think Amalia worth saving?
I hold men's lives in my hands. I must see foes in every shadow. The night we moved against Vayne, he knew. I will not chance such disadvantage again. I must treat you as I would Andor, as I would treat any abettor of the Empire.
Then what will you do? Hold me here in chains? Some things never change, do they?
Listen to me, Bosch. Your cage may have no bars, but it is a cage. The eyes of the Resistance watch unblinking.
Let them watch. I know something of cages.
That's right. Amalia's in the Resistance.
Then you know her.
Sorta. We met just before we got sent to Nalbina. I've known nicer people.
Our paths keep crossing, yours and mine. It's more than coincidence.
It's annoying.
I'm sorry. Allow me one last annoyance, a favor to ask. I want you to take me to Balthier. Even caged birds need wings.
This makes us even.
Even?
For Nalbina. We couldn't have done it without you.
Bosch joins the party, not as a guest, but as an actual party member now. Which is great, and he's level 10, still 2 levels above us. So now we can go into his equipment and check out what he's got. Some pretty good stuff, bronze helm, bronze armor. It's one of the things I really like about Bosch as a character. I mean, I always gravitate towards, the knight characters. I don't know, I always have, growing up and everything. But, they're difficult to not like a lot of the time. But I think one of the things I like about Bosch is that he's not, when he comes out in that armor, it's kind of like a bit of a strange get-up. Like, it's, he's got this sort of one shoulder guard, and, he sort of looks sort of in shape. a little bit, but, you know, he's been in a cage for a couple of years now. You know, he's kind of starving, and he's not, you know, this super muscle man guy who you'd kind of, which is, you know, is a trait you'd kind of expect from the Knight character, I guess. So Bosch, for me, I don't know, I like his getup, I like his outfit, and he sort of, he exemplifies what a knight is without being, you know, physically built, which I think is quite a big deal. You know, being a knight is about kind of, you know, honor and loyalty, and that's what Bosch is. He's not about being this super built, strong, tough guy all the time. I mean, he is strong. In fact, we should get a look at his stats. Strength 34, that's pretty good. So I guess he is the strongest guy, but, you know, he doesn't look it. I don't know, I feel like that's an important detail.
A lot of kids lost their parents in the war. Mine had already died before that. The plague took them both.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
It's okay. It's been 5 years now. After that, I lived with my friend Pinello and her family. Then the war came.
I am sorry.
You don't have to keep apologizing. Really, it's all right. I know it wasn't your fault. I see that now. You didn't kill my brother. It was the Empire. My brother trusted you. And he was right.
Ah, we're all friends again. That's good news. Bosch is the man you want on your side. And speaking of people we want on our side.
As I said, a misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding? What I am understanding is it took Pinello because of you.
What? What about Pinello?
Oh, Vaughn, they've taken Pinello. And there was a note for this Balthier. Come to the Muserba Mines, it said.
It's Begamnon. He was in Albina.
If anything were to happen to that sweet child, why, I've her parents' memory to consider. You're going to go to her aid, and that's that. That's what you Sky Pirates do, isn't it?
I don't respond well to orders. You do know that the Imperial fleet is massing at Bujerba?
Fine, then I'll go. You at least have an airship, don't you? Just get me there and I'll find Pinello myself.
I'll join you.
Huh?
I have some business there as well.
An audience with the Marquis, by chance?
Balthier, just take us, and this is yours.
The gods are toying with us.
Make yourselves ready. We leave soon.
Right.
Balthier and Fran join the party, the gang's all back together. Begamnon's note can only be referring to the Lusu mines in Bujerba. We'll leave at once. When you're ready, meet me in the aerodrome. I should imagine it's still by the west gate. We weren't in Albina all that long. Do be quick. I'd like to save your girl and be rid of this headache as soon as possible. Well, we're not going there just yet. So yeah, now we got everybody. And the first thing I want to do actually is go into Bosch's license board, and we will be making him the knight character. Because, of course, stalwart warriors who wield sword and shield. Who else is he going to be? Honestly. That's him all over. Alright. Congratulations, Bosch, you're a knight. And you'll notice we're picking up quite a few license points because I've not really been spending that many. There's not a whole lot I need to be spending them on at this point. Getting if you've got the spare if you've got the spare license points, getting an extra gambit slot is always kind of worth it. Plus, they're pretty cheap at the beginning. I'm also going to buy Libra. The good thing about this license board is, you know, although there's quite a lot of branching paths, you're not guessing at what you're going for. Each kind of path has its own thing, so light armor, dagger, shield, so that's all about sort of weapons and armor. Then you got accessories over here, and this looks like sort of techniques, and there's also passive buffs as well, passive abilities. Battle Law, increase physical attack damage, reduce action time by 10%. It's all, you know, you can kind of map out exactly where you want to be, and there's a lot of health stuff here, which is awesome. I think Vaughn ends up with quite a bit of HP. I think Vaughn has the most HP, even more than Bosch out of anybody after all this is done. Anyway, you also notice, this is something I don't think I mentioned before, there's some of these little islands out here on the license board as well. Phoenix Law, Shades of Black, that's a technique. Giltos, that's also a technique. Also a technique. Bit of health there. Anyway, it's not really important what's on them just yet. Eventually, sort of new abilities kind of appear in these gaps, which allow you to kind of cross over basically to those islands. And eventually you get the ability to choose a second license board, and that opens up just naturally the ability to get these as well. So we don't need to worry about those yet, but it's worth thinking about later on in the game if you want a character to be able to. Because I think I was looking at it before, and yeah, there's guns down here. I mean, I don't ever plan for Vaughn to use guns, but the point is, if you want them to have, if there was like a spell out here, like a really good cure spell or something out here, maybe you want to plan out Vaughn being able to do that. It's just about mixing up the party a little bit more, but that's way in the future. We don't need to worry about that just yet. Anyway, the first thing we want to do is we want to go back to the hunt board. Because this is now, as you progress through the story, you unlock new hunts. You can't just do them all from the start. You wouldn't be able to do that anyway because you wouldn't be leveled. But you, every time you come back to, you know, a major town, it's worth checking out the hunt board. I'm just gonna put it out there, guys. Do you want me to do all the hunts? Because there's a lot of them, and you know, I'll do it if you want to see them. Then I'm happy to do them. You know, they're quite varied, and some of them are quite fun, and you get good rewards from them. But I'm just saying it's going to add on quite a lot of time. I'd have to think about how to plan that out. But if there's any specific hunts you want to see, I know that there's obviously the final hunt. A creature called Yzma is like the big one, right? That's the big, and I haven't done that. I've never done that. That was I remember playing it when I was younger, and I got up to that hunt, and I spent 7 hours fighting it, a 7-hour block of fighting it, and it eventually killed me. So that's the kind of hunt that we're dealing with. It's just over 50 million hit points, which, as far as I know, is the most hit points of any Final Fantasy enemy ever. I don't know if that's the case now. I'm not too familiar with sort of 15 and everything, but yeah. Anyway, we don't need to worry about those yet. That's a long time in the future. For now, we'll do the Thextra hunt, because I always do the first batch of hunts every time I go through this game, because they're super easy, super quick. They're all kind of local, I guess. Like the guy who posted this is right here, Gatsley. You saw my build to hunt Thextra. If you're looking for Gatsby, you found him. I own a shop over in the bazaar, but times have been tough. So I put in an order for some new goods, hoping to stir up some business. Put up everything I own as collateral against that shipment. Trouble is, the beastie in the Westersound's been attacking the caravans. Blah blah, please kill it, accept. And these guys, they always, again, we're kind of at the beginning, so you're not going to see this as much. But a lot of the hunts have special conditions that go along with them, so I'm just going to go in the clan primer and double check. He fears Thextra may attack the caravan. Thextra is to be found on the Galtea Downs in the Dalmasco Westersound, so there's not really a lot going on there. It's just go and find it. And this is why you want to gather up your party before you do this. Obviously, having 3 members is better than one. Unfortunately, now that Bosch, it's good that Bosch is a proper member of the party, but it means that we don't have 4 members now. We only have the maximum of 3. But shouldn't be a problem for these first few hunts, hopefully. So I kind of want to do this one real quick, and then I want to talk about hunts in a little bit more detail. So let's go out and find this guy. I don't really know who I want to be using. I kind of liked it. The setup that I'm going for is something that, in terms of their jobs and abilities, it won't be the most. I don't think it'll be the most optimal. But for me, the way I found it the first time I did this was that I found it to be really sort of balanced. I guess it was a good balance, and it made it so that I was using everybody all the time, and so their levels remained consistent. I didn't have a problem where, you know, I had three party members who were way out in front because their jobs were the best and they were just, you know, owning everything. It was, you know, I found myself constantly switching out, constantly switching up gambits. Obviously, I'm not going to show all that this time around, because I don't want to kind of bore you guys with constant menus, but yeah, I think we'll keep it as Vaughn, Balthier, and Fran just for now, just to kind of get their levels up to 10, and then everybody's balanced. It's not a kind of, you know, it's not an OCD thing. It's just I like everybody to be kind of on par. Because, you know, in dungeons, it's not really that much of a problem. You can kind of pick 3 people and just go through a dungeon, no problem. It's more for bosses. If something goes wrong, you kind of want to be able to bring out a secondary party and not have them there to heal, but have them there to be able to kind of hold their own and, you know, bring people back as and when you need them. So there's Thextra, just a giant wolf. Not really much going on there. I don't think there's anything that valuable or anything that rare that we can kind of steal from this guy. I'll give it one go, but I'm not that bothered. I stole a potion. That's not that interesting, is it really? I found that there's no real good kind of steal setup. You can't have someone steal an attack consistently. So I tend to just do it manually if I need to. I don't even think there's a... Is there a second thing I can steal? No. So yeah, this guy ain't too tough. Not a lot of HP at all. I didn't even realize he could poison me, honestly. Oh, where did that other wolf come from? I didn't even see him. You don't seem to be that interested, Wolfie. I do like how Thextra, even though he's a big bad wolf guy, still counts as part of the chain there. Alright, well I am poisoned, but who cares? We're going back to town anyway. Oh, I appreciate that, Fran. I appreciate the healing touch. So yeah, we did buy Libra, and I don't know whether it's worth setting up a gambit for it now, because I don't know if it's worth setting up a gambit at all for Libra. I just kind of like it. I just kind of like having a bit of extra information about enemies. It's more so to do with health. But there is a feature where, I mean, I mentioned briefly, we have the ability to kind of, you know, we can pause the game, we can check out enemies, and if an enemy's name is in red, it means that you shouldn't really go after it. But sometimes when you use Libra and then inspect the same enemy, it will change to blue because you kind of just, you know everything about it now. So, I don't know, it's worth it later on. A lot of things seem to be, I seem to be following a trend here. A lot of things seem to be worth it later on, not so much in the early game. Gatsley, that was super easy. Why? I don't know why you can do that yourself. You've saved me and my wife. Here's some stuff. Well, it's time I headed back to my shop. Say you should stop by sometime. I may have a little something for you. And now I will vanish in front of your very eyes and leave my drink here. Which we can't take advantage of. And now we've unlocked a couple more hunts as well. Now, I'm going to say something here. It might be controversial. Flowering cactoid. Well, that doesn't sound so tough. Let's go do that. He can be found out there. Okay, good. Hey, Wraith, let's go do that as well. Let's do that at the same time. Shall we? So now we have 2 hunts on the go at once. Now, I didn't really get along with Final Fantasy 15. I wasn't enjoying it that much. I played a few hours, but there was not enough there to keep me entertained, really. But there's one thing, I don't know if it's different now, but there's one thing that really, really, really bugged me. And that was, why can't you accept more than 1 hunt at the same time? This is 2006, and I just accepted 2 hunts, and then you make a game in 2016, release it in 2016, and it's fucking, you can't even accept more than 1 hunt. It's built, half of it is built around hunts, and you can't even accept more than 1, which means you accept 1, and then drive for a fucking 100 miles through nothing, and then hunt something down, and then drive 100 miles back, just to get the reward and accept another hunt and drive another 100 miles in another direction. I mean, How fucking crazy is that? That is ludicrous to me. I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, you know, but that just feels... I'm trying to work it out, and I don't understand that decision. I don't understand the decision making. I don't understand what the... Who's looking at that and going, yeah, wow, what a really good way of sorting the hunt stuff out. It just... I don't get it. The only thing I can think of is that they didn't know that that's bad, or that they just were trying to artificially increase the length of the game, because I don't know. I don't understand it. I mean, I don't make games. Hey, I'm no designer. I don't even claim any knowledge of that stuff. Never have. Probably never will, in all honesty. But even I know that's bad, you know? Even I know that's stupid. It just, ugh. I don't want to hate on Final Fantasy 15 too much, but I just found it boring. I was very uninterested in the characters. I was uninterested in the story. The world is kind of, yeah, hey, you know what? It's big. Yeah, it's big, but there's nothing there. There's nothing there, as far as I can see. Maybe you just have to play more, but honestly, I don't think that's an excuse. Sorry, I mashed through his dialogue. A lot of these people say the same thing. I mean, they all have their little sub-story of this creature is affecting my business, or this creature is affecting our lives in some way, please go hunt it, but they're all relatively similar. And that's a dancing cactoid. In fact, that's a lot of dancing cactoids. Look at him up there mocking us. Oh, he hates it. That Seek hates it. Alright, this shouldn't be too bad. I mean, I haven't saved, but it shouldn't down us. Actually, it doesn't even matter that we haven't saved, because this game has an autosave feature. Again, I can't remember if I mentioned it. So if I have, I apologize. But I love the autosave feature now. So if you get downed, it's not like you go back 3 hours. You just go back to the beginning of the screen. Which is very useful. Anyway, the flowering cactoid is not that far. Like I say, all these hunts are really local, so it's... Even if you're not planning to do all the hunts in the game, it's worth doing these few just for the extra few little rewards that you get. Like an extra 500 gil, and I got some headgear as well. Which I think, I don't even know if I have the license for it, actually. Yeah, it might be worth buying that, actually. Can I get that? I'm learning. Yeah, 15. Put that on. Absolutely put that on. Cheeky bit of extra defense. Not gonna say no to that. But yeah, there's not really much going on in FF15. I just found the areas to be just empty. Like there was no incentive for me to explore. Like I remember getting up to a point in the game where you do this dungeon. Oh yeah, and the dungeons are really uninteresting as well. It just looked like a cave. Like anyway, I was doing this dungeon, and at the end of it you get some weapon or another, I can't remember what it's called, and then it's like, hey, you know, there's these dungeons all over and they've got, you know, really good weapons in them and stuff. So there was that, I guess. And you know, maybe there's other stuff like that, I don't know, but that took hours to get to, and that was, as far as I'm aware, the only really interesting thing. So I don't know. I just found that game to be really empty. The combat though was alright. I guess it was a lot of fun at times, but I don't know. It's getting towards what I like, but I guess there was just, for me, not enough going on in the game to keep me interested in it anyway. So I don't know. Final Fantasy 15 didn't really do it for me, I'm afraid. Anyway, we're just gonna go to town on this guy. Actually, let's get rid of the ads. Always get rid of the ads. There we go. And we've gotten Bosch out for this, just because he does a little bit of extra damage. This thing dodges like a bastard. Oh, I hate that shit. Oh, I probably didn't need to revive him there. Did I just use a Phoenix down? It didn't work? Flowering Cactoid vanquished. I got really lucky there. That Flowering Cactoid can be a real problem. Sometimes you saw him running away there. Sometimes if he manages to parry a load of attacks, or you just for some reason aren't catching up to him, then he will aggro all the enemies in this area. Phoenix Down's 8. I don't know if did I use a Phoenix Down there or not? Like I threw it in the air, but the animation didn't quite complete, and Vaughn is still dead. So I'm gonna have to check that back. Anyway, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, that 1,000 needles is if that hits, that is you are dead at this point in the game. So yeah, Bosch is we're going to be using him as a kind of tank character. I mean, he's made for it, really, isn't he? Another Fire and Gill and 10 potions. Thank you very much. Now Vaughn is alive for some reason. And now he's dead again. One advantage to this game, when switching out your party, it loads really fast. The PS2 version, for some reason, well, I guess pretty obvious, it's just technical limitation, right? But it just takes... Sometimes it used to stutter a little bit when you try to change up party members. By the way, we still can't fight this. Not even gonna try. Does anybody else have Libra or not? Yeah, I do. Let's actually check the level of this thing. Level 30, Jesus Christ, no, we're not doing that. Thing to remember, actually, I don't think I mentioned this, thing to remember about enemies that don't attack you in the wild, sometimes they're totally, non-hostile. Like, I don't think that Saurian will ever really attack you unless you attack it. Like, that's the trigger, which makes sense, right? But some of them, some creatures... I mean, alright, if you attack anything, it will attack back. But sometimes, there'll be creatures out in the wild where sometimes if you use magic near it, that will be a trigger for it to go hostile. Sometimes if you use techniques, it will go hostile. Sometimes if you just hang around it a little bit too much, if you get up in its personal space, it will go hostile. So they all have little different characteristics, which makes them, a little bit unique. Anyway... Now we have one hunt left. And I believe Southgate is the easiest place to get to it. This hunt can kind of... That is good water. This hunt can kind of go wrong. This is the first one that's tough, I think, for this part of the game. You can kind of be forgiven for skipping this one and maybe doing it when you come back the next time. But all I know is that it can be done at this point, so I like to get it done at this point. I don't know why I'm saving. I don't really need to. Like I say, that autosave is just super handy. I think it's just out of habit. Old habits. I always love to think about what are the characters thinking while this is happening. Like, it's like, oh, we gotta go save Penelo, and Vaughn's really championing this idea of saving Penelo, and then he just drags everyone out into the Ester Sand, out into the Wester Sand, into the sewers to go fight creatures. And Bosch is like, I really have like urgent appointments to be seen to, so if we could just hurry this up, that'd be really helpful. Anyway, the petitioner for this one is just up here. Crouching Lady. Mila. Come about the bill. Wonderful. I'll not mince words. The child has shut himself inside this house. He said he'd come out if I got rid of the ghost. So I went looking for it to humor him, you see. Imagine my surprise when I found it was real. Will you hunt the ghost? Yes, I will. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. She says, it's a wraith that, comes out because somebody's been hunting creatures down in the waterway, and it's like, hey, I'm not pointing fingers here. And Vaughn's there like, oh, was it hot in here suddenly? Alright, so back down into the familiarity of the waterway. Fortunately, we don't have to venture too far into it. It is in the very first screen. So yeah, the reason this can go wrong, I think I'm going to keep Vaughn out, because I think he will do a little bit more damage in the long run. Or maybe Fran for curing? No, we'll use Bosch. Right, let's do it. So the Wraith should appear right here. And we want to be right, like, on its ass. And the bad thing about this is that it inflicts Doom, and there is no way to cure Doom, other than using a remedy, but even remedies won't work at this point. Aha, it missed. Okay, so the way this can go really well if Doom constantly misses, like it's doing right now, which is awesome, because this enemy will cast Doom all the time until all 3 party members have Doom on them. So if it constantly misses, it means it will never actually physically attack you. So we're doing alright here. I kind of prefer to get it down to half health before all 3 characters have Doom on them, honestly. Because we have no way of healing on it. And you can see Doom is just a timer. And when the timer goes down to 0, you die, and that's it. There's nothing really you can do about it. It's beyond me how a ghost can combo someone, but there you go. Wow, he's really kicking my ass here. In fact, I'm going to use a high potion. So another bad thing about this is that it's similar with all the ghost enemies. If it teleports, it's a problem. Especially with a timer on, it's like, just get it done. It doesn't matter if party members die, as long as just get the fight done, you know? Fortunately, we still have Fran to sub in. Whoa, that's a combo. So if we sub Fran in, it will immediately go back to doing Doom. Or maybe it won't. I thought it did. Oh well. Looks like I'm wrong again. But it doesn't have that much health left, so we should be okay. In fact, this gun is not doing that much damage. Let's bring Bosch back, shall we? Oh god, don't use it on yourself, you idiot. Why would I take him out of the party? There we go. Bosch is always the one. The Bosch is always the one to get the last hit. So yeah, a bit of a sort of DPS race, I guess. Seeing as there's no real way to heal Doom other than just dying and coming back. You can heal it with remedies, like I say, eventually, but we don't really have the... Well, I don't think we even have the license that allows us to do that just yet. So yeah, that's why that one is a little bit tricky. For this part of the game, anyway. Obviously, you do the next section of the game and come back, you're way stronger, and you can beat it before it's even inflicted Doom at all. Thank you so much! This young man hunted it for us. And also this older man, and this even older man, and this... I don't even know how old this woman is. Oh, you finally come out. These people got rid of the ghost for me. It's not easy being jovial with my son locked up in a vacant house. But now that all is well, it should not be so hard. Oh, it's not my child. No, heavens no. What am I, some kind of animal? Please take this. 500 gil, ether, and gauntlets. Gauntlets are really useful. Let's remind ourselves what they do, because I can't remember, I just know they're useful. Reduces physical damage taken when HP critical. Yeah, anything... HP critical is a really interesting status in this. HP critical obviously just means you have not that much health left. And, you know, you flash red, and you probably see it. You'll have seen it a few times already, I don't think I mentioned it, though. You probably saw it in that battle, actually. But yeah, when you're HP critical, a lot of things can happen. Especially when you get licenses that are to do with it as well, because there's a lot of licenses on the license board which increase your strength and defense and all kinds of things when you're HP critical. So basically, when you go into that mode, you get a defense boost, you get an attack boost, and also the likelihood of you comboing is also rises as well. Which for a character sort of like Vaughn, who's already inclined with his weapons to do a lot of combos, you can get massive damage off. And everything in the game has it as well. All enemies have it. All the hunts will have it. All the bosses will have it. A lot of interesting things happen when you're HP critical. Anyway, it's also worth coming back here every time you come back to Rabanasta, really, because the clan leader here, Mont Blanc, will give you rewards based on boss fights. It's not just about hunts; it's about boss fights and about your clan ranking as well. Which obviously it goes up. It goes up a little quicker when you complete hunts, but it still goes up by defeating enemies as well. So, and you just have to talk to him, and he'll give you the stuff. You're a Hedge Knight, congratulations. 2 warp motes and a couple of teleport stones. You're a rear guard already. 3 remedies and a couple more teleport stones. You can defeat a pack of flans. Word gets around somehow. I don't know who's giving him all this information, but 150 gil, and you defeated the Fire Main. Christ, you've been busy. 200 gil and the Mimic Queen. Bloody hell, you've been everywhere. You obtained 300 gil. And here this is where you get the elite marks. Now, we can't do these at the moment because these are super tough. Although it says that they're rank 1, yeah, we can't actually do that. I'm not even going to accept those at the moment. So yeah, it's worth going back there just for the extra money, and eventually the rewards get really good as well. You can get some really good equipment from that. Anyway, next stop, our whistle stop tour of Rabanasta once again. Head down to the bazaar. Because if you remember that when we hunted Thextra, that guy was like, hey, come down to the bazaar, and I'll give you a reward. And he's right up here. Hey, Gadsly. I want to thank you again for your help. Our shipment arrived safely and business has been brisk. Look at all the customers. There's one there. Everywhere, right? Don't worry, I haven't forgotten our arrangement. Go to a nearby shop. Any will do, and look in the bazaar goods. I put together a little something from the goods we received. You shouldn't have any trouble finding it. This guy should sell it. Clan Provisioner, heard the boss gave you the okay, but it's not that simple, lad. We've got strict rules you got to abide by here. So this is the clan shop. Things I can sell you depend on your clan rank. You want to crack the good stuff? Best raise your rank. But it's not a very good clan shop. At the moment we have gauntlets, which we already got. Oil and decoy is really good, actually. We'll get that. Oil, not so much. I don't think I need that. Can I sell anything? Windstone? Take those. Take it all. So yeah, this guy, the reward we got from Gatsly is the Forgotten Grimoire. Now, we don't have the money to buy it, 18,000 gil. That's pretty pricey for this part of the game. We'll be able to get that later on. But there's basically quite a few, I can't remember how many, I think there may be maybe 6 of them, 6 or 7 or something like that, of these Grimoires. Basically what happens with the Grimoires is you get loot from every type of enemy, right? But if you have a Grimoire on you, it changes the type of loot that you get and makes it more valuable. You're more likely to get rare types of loot and more valuable stuff from enemies, from enemy drops, if you have the Grimoires on you. So it's worth buying them as soon as you can, really. Just to kind of maximize the effect that you actually get from them. So even though they're pricey, it's totally worth it. Anyway, I don't think there's that much to do else other than get ourselves off to Bujurba. But I'm going to pause it for now, guys. Because we're running, well, 45, that's pretty good. I don't know, episode length is going to vary, honestly. But I think I'll stop for now, guys. But thank you very much for watching this episode of Final Fantasy XII. I do hope you join me for the next part, where we'll be getting on once again with the story. Let me know about the hunts and anything extra that you want to see. As far as side quests go, I don't really think there's too much in the way of interesting stuff, honestly. It's kind of a weakness of this game. But some of the hunts can be kind of interesting. So if there's anything you want to see, or if you just want to see some generally, then I'll throw in the ones that I think, you know, maybe a bit more interesting than the others. let me know, guys. Thank you so much for your support, and I shall see you next time. Take care. See you later.